Hi, my name is Kellie Bowman of Sebi's Daughters, and today we have someone very special, Emeka Mbadiwe, and he is the director and film producer of Lockdown Love, featuring Dr. Sebi, my father. And this film is so awesome. I wanted to share it with all of you because it touched my heart, and I think that most of you will be able to get something really encouraging out of it. And I think it's wonderful. So, Emeka Mbadiwe, I just want to say shout out to you, and I want to go straight to the clip.
That love that you have for you, that love would never die. Because the one thing you want to do is to love. And that love should begin with you. Once you love you, you love the whole world.
Wow. That was beautiful. Emeka, I just got to ask you the question, how did this come about?
Well, thank you for having me here. I'm grateful to be a part of this show. Lockdown Love came about. It was an idea that was formulated during the pandemic. I wanted to shoot something that I could be able to complete during the time, which involved maybe, one location, one actress, less or minimal legwork, and people and crew. And we kind of came up with the idea to shoot this. And I wanted to get the message out about self-love, health, and nutrition. So we just kind of made it happen.
I want to tell you that it's so powerful because there are few words spoken and the emotion reigns through. You allow the emotion to shine through so beautifully that it took me. I was, I'm thumbing through Prime and I'm looking for something to watch. And here I go finding this wonderful film. I had no idea you exist or your journey exists, and it was very powerful. So tell me a little bit about you and what was the inspiration for her story?
Well, the inspiration came from the idea of celebrating. I wanted to celebrate self-love, especially in the African American community. I always wanted to figure out ways to highlight natural beauty and that we have in our culture. That's why a lot of the elements in the movie you see a lot of natural hair, different people, and diversity, and just highlighting some of the things and attributes that we have in our culture. I felt like this was a great opportunity to be able to showcase this in this time with this one girl. Not showing too much, not too much dialogue, but just kind of just showing as opposed to telling. And I think she executed and did a pretty good job in that.
She's
and I think
awesome.
The story
she's absolutely awesome. I think you picked a courageous young lady. Hopefully one day I'll get to talk to her and tell her that.
yeah, that'll be great.
Her actions speak louder than words. So how did you come to know the one we love most when it comes to natural things, Dr. Sebi? How did that come about?
How did I learn about Dr. Sebi? When? Good question. I would say about maybe like 7, 8, 9 years, about 8 years ago. I must have stumbled on some videos on YouTube, and maybe I heard a person here or there mention his name, and I just became more intrigued to find out who he was, what he did out in Honduras. And just learning more over the years, implementing a lot of his studies and strategies into my life, seeing change by using herbs and making lifestyle changes, then I began to just kind of fall in love with him and everything that he taught. So I've been an instrument in just letting people know about him, mentioning him, telling just the whole world about who he is, what he did, and how I can just get it out there to the world. So with this particular film, I wanted to kind of I'm always trying to put out messages that are dear to me, dear to my heart, when it comes to like relationships, nutrition, self-love. And I want to just put little things in the films that I put out to kind of get it out there. So I definitely wanted to pay respect to Dr. Sebi by putting him in the film with a question of who is Dr. Sebi, inspiring people to go look him up, to go want to be involved in knowing who he is and see for themselves who he is and what he has been able to achieve, because he has been so instrumental in my life. I mean, I can't even begin to describe the way that I am now. Once I made the switch, I would call it the Sebi switch. And I'm just so much more healthy, so much more vibrant. And I definitely thank Dr. Sebi. You had a wonderful father who has done excellent and is continuing to do excellent in this world.
Well, I want to say thank you, and that's the goal, to continue to encourage by what we have and what we learn from these tools. And one of the things I feel is that, you got a beautiful t-shirt on, and you are a walking Sebiism, because when you asked the question, you said, who is Dr. Sebi? Who is he to each one of us is different, but yet still the same premise of health, healing, and love for yourself. And just to give you a peek under the page, I was about 9 years old, and I remember sitting down with him, and we would talk about self-love and what that meant. And because of that self-love that he taught me, because he felt that I was very important, all of his children are, but when he was talking to me, he would plant little seeds in me about how I was enough, how I was what I ever I wanted to be. I can choose. He told me one day, I remember I was 15 in Brooklyn, and I traveled to Brooklyn to see him. I was living in LA, and we were watching some program, and it was about Mandela, and he says, Mandela said he couldn't change where he was, but he could change how he felt about it. He says, so the power of choice is big, and it's all yours. And why that's important to a young lady is exactly what I saw in that film. And that self-love, it starts there, and it opens so many doors. So I just happened to run across you, and it was my delight to learn how to use a DM on Instagram to reach out to you and find out a little bit about you. So tell me, did you grow up here in the United States, or was it when did you arrive here, or were you born here?
Yeah, I was born in Brooklyn, pretty much raised on Staten Island, New York. Still here to today. But I do a lot of traveling, but for the most part, Staten Island is responsible for raising me.
That's beautiful, because my time in Brooklyn is awesome. When I walk the streets, Ocean Avenue, that's where the store was. It was so impactful, because those were the walks and talks that we used to share together, me and him, and that's when those self-love conversations will come out. So tell me a little bit about the way that you eat now opposed to where you were eating before, because I just want to bring out something. Your book here is awesome, and thank you for the note inside. I appreciate it. But Heaven on Earth, I want to ask you, it talks about your journey a little bit, about your food journey. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Well, my food journey, I guess I used to live to eat. Now I kind of eat to eat. Well, I used to live to eat to live, but now I have made the switch that I just eat more for function as opposed to like taste. I do like food. I do enjoy tasty foods, but it's more of nurturing my body and just putting in nutrients that I know will be beneficial to me. I made a complete switch, not 100%, but I would say about 98%. But it has changed my life, changed my thinking, changed my digestion, my health, and I feel much better. I just feel more vibrant, and it's a great thing. I feel like I'm glad that I did make the switch. I'm glad that I did choose to implement some of the foods from his nutritional guide, and I consume from foods from that list every single day, and I couldn't be more happy with how my health is today.
Well, I like.
Now I was gonna say one more thing. I did mention in my book that I was born with asthma. I had asthma all my life. High blood pressure, sleep apnea, just a bunch of random little things, but all those things are history now because of the lifestyle change that I made.
This is him. I just want to say that what's interesting about that is you started off the same way as my father did. You started out, and the journey is so beautiful through your book, Heaven on Earth, and what you mean by that. I love the simplicity of what you mean by that, but I think all who are watching enjoy God's goodness because we know that it is for us. It is the truth. It is our intracellular truth. And so for that reason, we can all gather around this book and we can gather around the film. I am a big fan of encouragement for each other. And one of the things you say in your book is that I am a foodie. And you love food, but that's the true honesty of what we are. And what I like about it is you're telling the truth through the book about your personal walk and how you are to embrace yourself. How you walk, eat, and sleep every day is so important. And sometimes we forget about ourselves and we need those reminders. And I think your book is a welcome to those who are starting the journey or who have been on it and they don't quite understand what the journey is about. So from your perspective, I do truly enjoy it. And I don't know, I think I'm quite speechless when it came to the movie because when she typed in who is Dr. Sebi, I was sitting in a room with my husband and I'm like, oh! And here we go with the continuation of this journey. I just want to say to you, I really appreciate you finding that life inside of yourself through your food. I really appreciate the film. For everybody watching, this book is amazing. It will help answer some of those questions that you guys emailed me about and you were looking for some positivity. I'm sure soon this will be on Amazon, right?
Yeah, it's on Amazon now.
Oh,
They
okay,
can get it
because I
there.
was looking for it. Maybe it's sold out.
No, you gotta put H.O.E.
Oh, that's maybe. But please tell the viewers where they can reach you.
They can reach me at my website, which is my fullname.com. Emeka Mbadiwe should be spelled somewhere on the screen, but I could be reached there and also through social media at Emeka Film across all platforms.
And that's how I got you. And I'm telling you, he does answer his own emails. I mean, his own DMs. I just want to thank you for taking this minute with me and just giving me the information about the film because, again, the journey of it all together is beautiful. I like how you took her from a very challenging time all the way to self-courage and power. And if I had to let my little girl view it, my 15-year-old, I'm sure, and we're going to watch it together. It's a mommy and me moment. And I haven't shared it with her yet because I want to set the stage. So I want her to view this tape before we even go that far. But for every young man, young woman, everyone can tie into this and find courage and strength. And I want to thank you very much for spending this time with me. You are now my favorite lifelong author of all things natural. For everyone who wants that book to encourage them through their diet and their diet journey and their new way of living with health, I suggest you pick up his book and think about things in a really holistic way for you. Loving yourself and self-care is all mentioned in there. Emeka, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. And thank you, viewers, for viewing this. I'm glad you tuned in because you're going to want to go to Lockdown Love on Prime, Amazon, and view this film. It is going to be the best thing you've done for the summer. I say check it out. And again, please keep following Sebi's Daughters. You can reach us at Instagram, Sebi's Daughters LLC. You can reach us at sebisdaughters.com. We are here for you, continuing to educate you in that Dr. Sebi legacy loving way. I'm hoping that you stay inspired, and thank you so much for joining us.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.